Hey Rixella, can you hear us all?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Welcome. I'm just going to do a quick little intro plus give you some details of how this will go. So we are live. This is officially the round one interviews, part two. Since you are on the alternative time, this is going to be the only interview for today. We are on the live stream currently. So Um, as like a little intro, hello, welcome. Nice to see you. We're gonna give you 5 minutes for your interview, and during that interview, you're free to say anything from your application or resume. The speech that you're written does not have to be exact, whatever way you want to go. And during those 5 minutes of that portion, we'll have Jacob send you minute warnings in the chat. And then after those 5 minutes, we'll give you another 5 minutes for Q&A. We'll give priority to our board members first. And then if anyone from the live chat has any questions to ask you, then we'll shift it over to them. Um, just wanted to remind you that, we run Mafa with a mindset that school and or a career comes first before Mafa. We want everyone to be reminded of that fact. And so going into this, we just wanted to let you know that continues from us to you guys. Other than that, I believe that is all. You are all set to start whenever, and then Jacob will start your timers with you. So good luck to you, and we're ready for you whenever.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rixella Abigar, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And I am running for the position of Secretary of Cultural Affairs. I will be going into my last semester this upcoming fall at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, majoring in nursing. Within my Mafa affiliated organization, I was the secretary, and in this position, I was able to reinvigorate the executive board's meeting minutes and become more knowledgeable in using MailChimp for our newsletter. During my time as secretary of FSA, I had the opportunity to facilitate a discussion we had during our Filipinx cultural workshop, where we discussed the model minority myth, experiences of the pressure placed on ourselves from family and responsibilities, and so on. After this discussion, I realized that this was something I wanted to do more of because it was so heartwarming to be able to facilitate the conversation and have the attendees relate to one another's experiences and see each of us grow closer together as a community. On the FSA executive board, a lot of the other members were relatively new to being in a leadership position. So with my previous leadership experiences that I had prior to being on the board, I was able to connect some of them to other people that could help increase their knowledge of their position. For example, our treasurer didn't know the ins and outs of IUPUI's student organization funding. So I introduced them to a colleague of mine that walked them step by step through the process. And other than that, I weighed in my opinion whenever we were planning events or hit a bump in the road. From my positions, I was able to learn to promote collaboration, increase my typing speed, improve communication skills, foster teamwork, and increase my confidence in myself. I believe these skills will benefit Mafa board since I will be working with board members that might not be within close proximity to me and overseeing the roundtables, Mafa blog, and meeting minutes. In this position, I would like to increase the amount of roundtable discussions we have to at least twice a semester, and collaborate with other Filipinx organizations in the Midwest. For example, I recently joined the Chicago chapter of Malaya movement, and I believe that this could be a great resource to have a discussion about the current political climate in the Philippines. By having collaborative events like this, it could take pressure off of me and introduce Mafa members to other organizations they can get involved in during their undergraduate or once they graduate. I'd like to reinvigorate Mafa's blog page by bringing back testimonials from previous board members / Mafa members and working with the director of media and director of marketing to promote it to the membership schools as a place they can use to promote their events or also to look back on the history of Mafa. For my Mafa intern project, I created an anonymous feedback form for membership schools to use, and I believe this form could be added to the Mafa page so that it has quick and easy access for members to utilize so that they can feel empowered to speak up if they noticed something or if they had feedback for Mafa, because as Mafa continues to grow, it will have to change itself so that it can continue to provide a positive experience to future members and membership schools that join it. I believe this position will push me to learn more about my culture. And it's not to say that I couldn't do that on my own. However, just as there were people in my life that welcomed me with open arms to learning, I want to do the same for others that might be in a similar place in their life. As I come closer to graduation, I want to be more involved in organizations as I was in my undergrad, in my adult life, so that I can continuously challenge myself to learn more about the world and myself. And with that, I would like to thank you all for this opportunity and open it up for questions.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Like you said, we are going to open it up to any board members that have any questions. So if my board would like to ask away, go right ahead.
Thank you. There are like one or two ways I could do it. So I could either like find topics that I'm passionate about, and then offer that up to the Mafa sphere, either through the Instagram, like having a poll, or create like another form for Mafa members to fill out, and then picking like the top 3, top 4, whichever topic, so that either way, either it's like me that's interested in, or it's the audience that wants that. And so I believe I could gain a lot of traction with it, because at least someone would be interested in the topic.
I have a question. So hi, Rexella. Thank you for being here. My question for you is, you talked about the roundtables, you talked about the blog, and these are already established ideas that the current Secretary of Cultural Affairs is responsible for. I would like to ask you, do you have any new programming that you would like to implement under your tenure if you were to be elected?
I'm thinking. I think for me, I would have liked to seen workshops, rather than, because with the roundtable discussion, it pushes the audience to like already have a standard of knowledge about it. With a workshop, I could at least give them like the base of what we would be discussing, and like I of course can also include like discussion questions for people to talk about during the workshop. I'd also like to have some sort of, this is just me brainstorming right now, like a social media campaign, because with Gen Z, social media is very important. So like either a social media campaign or creating a zine for people to like reference or look back on whenever they need ideas, or just something to look at too. Thank you.
Good answer. I guess then you kind of popped another question into my head, which if this gets confusing, let me know and I can rephrase it. But I think what's very interesting is that under Mafa, because we cover such a large region, a lot of different communities in different states have different kind of experiences and knowledge of their own culture, right? Like, so for example, because there are so many Filipinos in Chicago, there's a lot of resources for us here, but let's say you go up to Minnesota or you go down to like Missouri, it's not really any of that there. So different communities across the Midwest have different parts of their lives where they are with their own like history and culture. How would you kind of balance that then, knowing that there are such distinct groups across the Midwest that are at different stages of understanding their culture? Or I guess to add on to that, how would your programming kind of appease those groups? How would you find a balance for all of them through your programming?
That is a tough question. I know, for example, like Indiana as well, we don't have any organizations here. We just recently got a Filipino community center for us. I guess not got, but like a group created one. And so like from when I joined the Chicago chapter of Malaya movement, when I was talking to the person in charge, they were like, you could eventually start a chapter at Indiana too. And like, I don't know exactly how I would want to push that, but like somehow empower audience members that come to like want to bring those organizations to their state as well. It's also hard to answer because I think my main thing would be like, during the year, if I get the position, like I would have to have a starting point and then go a little deeper throughout the year so that, you know, at the starting point, it could get members that don't have quite as much knowledge. And then towards the end, it could get more members that do. I don't know if that is foreseeable in the future because I think burnout for people that organize workshops like this, they want to continue their knowledge, and like having to backtrack it might be a little bit frustrating. So I don't have a perfect answer for that, but it is something that I will think about.
You know, I really appreciate how you're brainstorming live for us right now, because that shows that you're putting a lot of thought into the questions I asked, and they are tough questions. So thank you for your candidness, and I appreciate it. They're all good answers. Thank you.
So it looks like we reached our 5 minutes. Unfortunately, we do not have our current Secretary of Cultural Affairs with us tonight, but I will allow just one more question just in case if anyone is able to reflect anything in the mind of Kathy or anything else. Okay, looks like we're good with that one then. Oh, Michael, do you have one?
Yeah, I have a quick question. With the types of events that the Secretary of Cultural Affairs puts out, you know, like these workshops, roundtable discussions, stuff for like FAM or Apida Heritage Month, to be honest, they're not our most they don't have the biggest audience members or participation. And it's kind of a struggle to get Mafa sphere members to interact with these kinds of events, even though they're really important, great for education, things like that. Do you have any other solutions potentially to like increase traction, maybe besides social media or anything like that?
So I know, I guess in terms of like the collaborative event where like having a roundtable discussion that I mentioned before, I think a positive aspect of that is if we were to have that, then it could also get the audience that comes from that certain organization too. So like we would have two outlets of people that would attend the event. As far as promoting it outwardly, I suppose I would talk with the vice president of external and see if there's something that we could work together to do to increase that. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but to get people to attend the events. I would say it's hard to like not want to include social media in it because I think that is a very big aspect of the generation today. So don't know. I'm going to think about that. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, don't worry, Rexel. That was a hard question. It's something our board deals with and thinks about. So I'm happy to hear any thoughts by you. So thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you to the board for asking questions, and thank you, Rexella, for your answers to those. They were tough questions, but that is okay, and you're very honest, so thank you so much for that. That does exceed your Q&A time. I did not see any questions directly from the live stream, so that is perfectly okay. Just some closing remarks for you before we let you go. This is the conclusion to round 1 elections, and right after tonight, tomorrow, the voting ballots will be out. So if you would like to market yourself and say, hey, see the live stream, or rewatch yourself, it will be right on our YouTube. And during that time, round 2 applications will also be opened. And you'll be able to read everything on those ballots soon. And we'll be in contact with you during that process just to help you get walked through with it and just keep you updated during that time. Other than that, you are all set to go. That is all we have for you. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you. I hope y'all have a great evening too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Alrighty, round 1 down.
Okay, so that was all round 1 down, like Jacob said. That concludes round 1 elections. Round 2 opens up. Let me double check. Round 2 opens up Monday, May 30th. They close Tuesday, June 7th, just about a week. And we have interview days Thursday, June 9th at 6 p.m. Central Time. Applications are only open for a week. Voting is only open for that week as well. And voting round 2 will be open right after that interview date as well. So look out for that. Rewatch the interviews. Applications and resumes will be posted as well on the ballot. So look out for that too. And that's